If possible, you have my sincere encouragement. Now that I have little children of my own, I understand the rush to leave the house, the need to get everyone dressed and in bed, get everyone to daycare, and get into separate cars. Then we drive out into the hustle of life. However, suppose you could attempt to wake up a little bit earlier and give yourself a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes, guys. In that case, I'm not kidding when I say it has dramatically impacted Judy and me. Imagine the difference it will make in the morning. She gets up a little earlier than I do, so I'll tell you to enjoy that peaceful time. She'll be out there. In any case, I find myself in this location to unwind and engage in coffee conversations with you after her book reading or other activities. I'm reading 2 articles today, and one of them discusses how the U.S. is in danger of going bankrupt owing to the excessive quantity of debt currently in circulation. And, gentlemen, we're closer than ever right now. Since we are approaching the point when this fiat system has practically achieved its apocalyptic collapse, we are closer than ever to the day when they will have to shift us over to a new system on a global basis. However, before then, it's comparable to blowing up a balloon at a birthday celebration. Blow it up, and ultimately, it spreads out to those proportions that you thought, how could I? It grows bigger and bigger and bigger. I think they're going to blow this thing up because I didn't even think it would get this large, and then all of a sudden, bang, off she goes. Just absurd in the upcoming year, the following year in 2024 and 2025. We'll see these markets tear apart like nobody could have predicted. However, gentlemen, after that, and when that bubble bursts, I believe there will be the most catastrophic crash in the history of the entire world. They're planning to move us into this system after the events of Phoenix rising from the ashes, so you can see they've laid all the necessary foundations, right? The daily interest rate and its calculation methodology have been modified, and the ISO 222 messaging requirements have been adopted for the bank. Guys, if you wish to participate in this financial inflow, you should know that everyone must comply by 2025. Then, of course, there are all the digital currencies that central banks offer and everything of that sort. You can also deal with Ripple at this time. To address the interoperability issue that recently arose with Bridge, you guys will do a lot of lining up and observing many people who appear to be rivals and adversaries. I predict that when these people introduce the new system, I'm talking about Swift and Ripple, among others, they will all be shaking hands and clapping along. It reminds me of when my father took us to the local wrestling matches as children. It was named Stampede Wrestling, and even so, it was rather remarkable. You know, you'd see all these dudes putting up a performance by defeating one another. Eventually, you'd flip them and have them perform everything they used to do as children. It would have been possible to reach ringside. I see the sweat running off their brows. It goes without saying that when we were younger, we used to love to hang around and try to collect their autographs and other souvenirs. We also used to ask our dad to purchase us images of our favorite wrestlers, hoping to catch them in the process. And after they signed it, lo and behold, all of these guys, all of them genuinely out to commit murder, did not just march on the same bus heading to the next town. They're giving each other backpats while competing against one another in the ring. I boarded the same bus, so I suppose this is a harsh awakening. It takes a child to understand that everything is a show, and that's what we're seeing now. Guys, it's all a show. Never deceive yourself. Consider many of these, organizations are fully cooperating in anticipation of the impending catastrophe, realizing that failure to do so will result in mutually assured destruction for all of them. Naturally, they're all in on it in one way or another. Still, the truth is that we are getting closer than ever to it happening, which is why this space represents the most significant wealth transfer in human history, about which books will be written. I completely jest when I ask this, but are you aware of the enormous shorts adapted into films? Indeed, that will happen again. This time, it will focus on how the digital economy works. They will instruct our children as we move into the wider world. Should Jesus teach history in their classes? Terry, it is genuinely fascinating to watch that. Most people are entirely unaware of what they are witnessing and what is happening. We are witnessing one of the most significant shifts in human history. While most people are entirely unaware of it, the critical players are sure of it, aren't they? They're talking about these relationships up on the hill. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink is out there discussing it, the depository trust, and clearing trillions of dollars worth of transactions daily. They are available on the blockchain. Most people, including guys, are unaware of it. For this reason, I'm out there, keeping my ears to the ground, conducting extensive research, and urging you to follow suit. They are referring to something else that was released, which will also be very important. It concerns China. Eventually, the supply chain was cut off to apply pressure to the West and other factors. Naturally, all of these things happened. I'm aware of bricklaying nations claiming they're heading to dollarize. Guys, this is only one more. This is merely an additional sign of the same illness. It's happening right in front of our eyes. We are meant to be as innocent as a dove and as wise as a snake. Furthermore, we as Christians are expected to be alert, aware of what is happening, and able to discern what others are blind to and why. Hello everyone. We are trying to do the duty of someone having to be out there sounding the sirens. Just to let you know, I'd like to remind you, you can accept or reject what you now know, so you can't blame the messenger. He's merely conveying the information that he isn't the source of the news, after all. One could argue that he is simply delivering rather than creating something. You know, sometimes we're the ones carrying things. Do you want the chance to make those decisions for yourself instead of having the Fifth Estate over here make them? Sometimes, we bring you awful news, but other times, we have fantastic news. You should conduct your study to encourage you to give it a serious look. Guys, you're doing great. Until later, when we have a charming and hopefully outstanding day, I sincerely hope you're having an incredible, fantastic, and wonderful day. For you, enjoy and take a look at the video.